Follow-up punch is the one that landed behind the ear. That messes your legs up, Bob.
Sosa landed 24 power shots. He knocked Spadafora down twice in round 3. I made it a 10-7 round for Sosa. And Spadafora lucky that the referee gave him a lot of time to compose himself after that first knockdown.
Well, we said early on that only a few seconds into the fight, we liked what we saw with Sosa. Real calm, confident, like he knew what he had to do. I like the way he doesn't waste anything. Look how he closes the gap. He knows how to get that range. He doesn't do what a lot of guys would do with the Spadafora. He doesn't reach. He takes the step, and then he pulls the trigger. 24 of the 25 connects from Sosa power shots. Spadafora landed just 5 punches, and Teddy, we said it early on, Sosa so far has made Spadafora not fight the kind of fight that Paul likes to fight. I had said Paul against Cardona, pat, 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 bam. He wasn't doing that. Exactly. You're exactly right. Sosa early on mixed it nice. When he did lead, he stepped, and then other times he made Spadafora come to him, where he could not allow Spadafora to sit back in that counter-punching rhythm. Funny thing is, now Spadafora might in some spots fight better because he's been hurt. He's not going to take any chances. He's going to stay back no matter what. He's not going to be forced to come forward. Right now, Spadafora is going to, because he's been hurt, he's going to stay back and counter. Good uppercut on the inside by Sosa. And Sosa lands because he steps with him. Watch how if Spadafora steps out, Sosa steps with him and then punches. He doesn't punch first to try to reach. I know hindsight's 20/20, but did Sosa make a huge error by not jumping on Spadafora a little quicker after he had him hurt? He should have stayed on him. I think he should have went to the body just a little bit more. He was landing some nice headshots. But then in between, he was missing. That's where the body would have maybe kept Spadafora a little frozen, where maybe more of those punches to the head would have landed. But you can see Sosa's temperament. He's a guy that's real calm. He's not coming out of that. He's a guy that's deliberate. He just has to watch now with the success he had the last round that he doesn't get out of his fight, doesn't get over anxious, doesn't get into one punch kind of business. See how he closes that gap though? He steps nice. Right now, Spadafora just wants to get around under his belt where he doesn't get hurt, where he recovers, and that's what he's done pretty much so far. Just wanted to revive himself a little. Paul Spadafora seems to have revived himself as we start round number 5. Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. Victoriano Sosa dropped Spadafora twice in round number 3, nearly had him out. But Teddy Spadafora was able to gather himself in that last round. Yeah, part of it was Sosa looked for one shot a little bit, didn't use that jab, didn't go to the body, kind of allowed Spadafora to do what he needed to do. Just what you said, just to recover. See the numbers through 4 rounds. 41% connect percentage for Sosa on the power shots through the first 4. See, in a way, a bad thing could turn into a good thing. He got hurt, Paul, but now he's kind of forced to fight his fight again, not to look for the aggressive shots too much, to pick his spots, to remember what he's all about, which is a guy who's not real strong, a guy who's technically real sound, a guy who has to be disciplined in his fight plan, which is to counterpunch, to get off, to move, not to forget what he is. That left hook to the side of the head will remind you real fast, Bob. And Sosa has abandoned his body attack. That's what happens sometimes. Sometimes guys come into this kind of situation, they score a knockdown early, real early in the fight like Sosa did, and it's the worst thing that can happen to them if they don't knock the guy out. Because then they think they're going to keep scoring the knockdown, and they don't do the steady things they need to do. And that can happen. They start looking for the one punch instead of how they forget how they got that knockdown.
Make him miss, make him pay. Move to the right.
Jesse Reed, the trainer of Paul Spadafora.
There it is. Spin to the right. Spin to the right. Move to the right. Keep turning them. Keep turning them.
Of course, that's where Spadafora needs to come back when he makes a miss like that. Get the danger out of the way.
Body. The body. Move to the right. Move to the right.
Right now, Spadafora moving to his left. Spadafora definitely has steadied the ship here in the last 2 rounds.
Sosa has stopped doing the things that he needs to do, and he did early.
No body attack from Sosa.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 3,000 miles because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-417-1200.
Round number 6 underway between Paul Spadafora, Victoriano Sosa, Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas from the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. This is Friday Night Fights on ESPN2. At stake, Spadafora's IBF Lightweight Championship. Spadafora beaten probably to the punch in the first 2 rounds by the challenger Sosa, and then in round 3, Sosa knocked Spadafora down twice. You see the punches through 5. Through 5 rounds, Spadafora has only landed 9 of 94 jabs, Teddy. So he has not fought his fight.
But since the knockdown, he's done a little bit better. 2 things have happened so far since the knockdown. Spadafora has been reminded of the kind of fight, the boxing type kind of fight he's got to fight, and how alert he has to be, because he's a defensive fighter. He's not a powerhouse. And Sosa, at least the last 2 rounds, has forgotten what got him there. If he thinks he's just going to score a knockdown over the champion and close to the champion's hometown and just go home with the title, he's wrong. You got to do a little bit more than that. You got to keep going. This round, Sosa's come out a little bit better. He's got to use that jab, do what he did the first couple rounds. Like that, close the gap.
You see Sosa having a lot more success against Spadafora than Renato Cornet did in Spadafora's first title defense.
Sosa's younger, 25 years old. Cornet was like 33. You have a young, hungry guy in there. And he's making Spadafora and spots do what he wants him to do. Spadafora is used to doing that to the opponent. When Sosa does leave, watch how he closes the gap. He takes nice steps. He never leaves himself really out of position, Bob. He steps with his man, like that. Spadafora looked to time him coming in. See, that's where the right hook can be effective. Because the orthodox fighter, Sosa's not used to seeing that right hook come too much. There it is again. That can be the best weapon for a southpaw, Bob, besides the jab, that right hook.
And Paul is a natural righty. The only reason why he's boxing left-handed is because his brother was left-handed, and that's how he learned how to fight.
Paul doesn't really throw, even though he's sort of a guy, you know, he does everything by the ABCs. Good defense, good sound, technically, but he doesn't really snap that jab. He paused it a lot and then looks to throw the hook, and that's what he's doing there.
Sosa the better of that exchange on the inside. There's a right from Sosa. Pretty good round for Sosa, Teddy, after the last 2 Spadafora controlled.
just wonder how the judges are looking at him. Good body punch that time by Sosa. Should be going there more.
Well, Sosa came to take Spadafora's title. Good showing through 6. Here's Brian and Max.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. In Las Vegas on the Reed Trinidad undercard, Christy Martin with a narrow win earlier this evening. Pretty much a fortunate win for Christy Martin. Meantime, middleweight titleist, he holds one of the titles, William Joppi, with a decision over Fernando Zuniga. That's on the Reed Trinidad undercard. You know, nothing against Sosa. He's a very fluid fighter, but we've seen where Spadafora has been locked in. Against Cardona, he was locked in mentally. I don't see that tonight.
I don't want to take anything away from Sosa. The interesting thing is the knockdowns did not change the course of this fight. Sosa had won the first 2 rounds, had dominated the third, knocking Spadafora down twice, and has dominated the remainder of the fight. Sosa looks excellent so far.
Sosa looks great. I tell you what, Spadafora rocked, comes back, gets back on his feet. No quitting him. Back out ringside to the main event. Guys?
All right, Teddy, let's take a look at the knockdown action in round 3 again.
Hey, the benefit of coming back with the left hook after the right hand. Trainers always say it. Right there, you see why they say it. First one misses, the second one doesn't. And again, in a tough spot around the ear. Messes your legs up.
That was in round 3. Spadafora would go down again. And after that first knockdown, referee Robert Finocchi gave Spadafora a lot of time to gather himself. Sosa has outlanded Spadafora 92-55 in the power shot category.
As you said, Sosa looks like he righted the ship a little bit after last round. Those 2 rounds before that, he was looking for one punch, getting away from what got him there. I like the way Sosa, if I pick one thing I like about what Sosa did, I said this very early, he closes the gap nice, bro. Watch how he flings his legs. Young fighters should watch that. He doesn't let his hands get there first. He makes sure his body's there when the hands are thrown. A lot of guys, their hands are ahead of their bodies.
Teddy Atlas's scorecard through 6. 58-55. You see, I have a 58-54. I made that third round 10-7. I thought Sosa just dominated that round. And if you're going to give a guy a 2-point round for 1 knockdown, and he dominates it, why not make it 10-7?
Can't argue with that. If you're going to give a 10-7 round, that's the spots where you would do it. Sosa going a little bit too head heavy. Needs to go to that body, Sosa. See, sometimes, I'm sure coming into the fight, Sosa knew he had to go to the body, but after the knockdown, he might have forgotten a little.
Spadafora got a good hard left hand in there.
I remember years ago, Bob, I had a fight, and I told him, listen, this guy's real elusive, your fight. Don't look for the knockout. Make sure you use the jab, go to the body, everything's short, don't load up. Because you're not going to be able to knock him out. What happens? The first round, he goes out there, he drops the guy. The rest of the fight, all he did was try to land that same punch. And what happens? Didn't land it no more.
He lost.
Lost the decision. Could hurt you scoring a knockdown early, if the guy gets up.
There's Spadafora digging to the body.
Yeah, Sosa's letting himself be outworked right now. Spadafora Sosa should be going to the body there.
Good short punch on the inside by Spadafora.
Yeah, nice uppercut. He's got Sosa leaning forward, so off the body, he brought the uppercut up. Spadafora has to be careful he doesn't reach and get caught a counter.
And Paul Spadafora has had to go to the power game. A little bit out of his style.